bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored and I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored and I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Pulsate podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 4.
Anywho, I'm Britt.
I'm Treen, and we're dance teachers at Pulsate Dance Force. Go check out our other episodes to see what we've been doing on our podcast and what we're all about.
We are about to have Joel from New Zealand join us on the podcast today.
Yeah, so some of you might have heard me talk about Joel. He is one of my really good friends, and was sort of my dance and life mentor when we both lived in Melbourne. He is the company director and founder of 888 Funk hip hop company. He is the head Australian judge of Hip Hop International, Dancerprenuer, events organizer, manager. He's just kind of like does everything. So for you hip hop dancers at Pulsate, you're going to love to hear what he has to say.
Let's bring him on.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, Joel.
Yo, what's happening, Wang?
Background.
Oh yeah, it's Avengers. You know, I think it's important to just imagine ourselves as Avengers in these hard times. I've taught a couple of podcasts with other studios before, and my lesson was about, you know, finding the hero within you during these times. So that's why it's just like that. So
that is so cool.
So cool.
So Joel's all the way from NZ, so it's 1 o'clock his time. And we have some questions to ask you.
We do. So let's jump right into it. First question we have for you, Joel, is you live a very unique lifestyle as compared to your normal 9-to-5 jobs. Please explain to us how your dance journey started and ended up as a dancerpreneur today, and what does a day in the life of Joel look like?
Do you like that word, dancerpreneur?
I love it.
Love it.
We made that as a crew.
Yeah.
It's funny because I started as a geek in school. Like, I was never really a dancer growing up. And then when I first started to go to uni in the Philippines, I joined this dance club just because I wanted to meet people. And then it started from there. I moved to New Zealand. I'm still at uni, so I went to Auckland University. And again, it was just mainly my want to kind of meet other people. And then I started this dance club. It got huge. And then I, you know, basically because we're at university, I had, you know, geeks with me. Like, we were the dance geeks of the community. So I had like marketing students. I had like, you know, film students. I have like business students. All these types of students join together to form a dance group. And that's kind of like how our mindset was about. Like, we not just made a dance crew, but it was more of a dance company with different minds putting their input on depending on what their major was at university. So that's been how I started. And I think it just kind of like moved forward from that kind of perspective of not just there for dancing, but there to apply the other talents that you have into dancing to create a bigger thing. In terms of your question about what I do in my day to day, my day is not that different to other people. And I think people need to realize when they see someone successful, we all live in the same planet. We have the same sunrise time. We have the same sunset. We have 4 seasons. Like, it's not so much on what is happening around you, but what you do with the things around you. So, I mean, you know, I same thing. I wake up like everybody does. I sleep like.
First of all, you don't sleep, really.
Well,
but don't act like you wake up when you never sleep.
Sorry, that's a secret that Tina knows. But well, I try to sleep. I am workaholic for sure. but I would like to point out that there's a couple of things that I've applied in my life that I think a lot of people don't. This is from studying mentors. So I have a lot of mentors that I kind of study, and they say that if you have a goal, you kind of like reverse engineer. A couple of things that I would like to point out in this question is I've studied a lot of mentors, and I just kind of follow what a lot of successful people do. So one of the things I picked up from these successful people is they take care of their health really well. So they eat well, they make sure they don't live a stressful life. A little bit of stress is good, but they don't like put themselves into too much stress, meaning they choose good friends, they surround themselves with great people, great energy. So I always try to do that, so I always live a healthy life. I eat well. Although Katrina said and pointed out, I don't sleep well. I do so many things to keep me healthy. So that's one thing. So meaning my physical body is always like ready for any challenges. And then I also have this thing about constant personal development, meaning I always try to learn and go beyond what was taught for me. Let's say, for example, I've finished university. A lot of us have finished school, but not everybody that's finished school still learn. Like after uni or after high school, a lot of people just stop learning and they just like work. Well, if you're not growing, our world is continuously evolving. So you're going to be in a disadvantage if you're not going to cope with learning. So I always have a personal development, an hour or two a day that I implement in my life. And I just make it fun. Like, so let's say, for example, Monday to Friday. Monday, I would learn about, let's say, I would watch like health stuff on Monday. For like after my health session in the morning when I wake up from 7 to 8, I would have 8 to 9 for my personal development. So Mondays, I would watch health stuff. Tuesday, I would watch dance stuff. Wednesday, I would watch like anything about marketing and business. And this is just done like either a book or like on YouTube or anything like that. So I always spend an hour or so each day to make myself better. And you can take the weekend off. You don't have to do this like 7 days a week. But those are the two things that I find that I have done in my life that I find a lot of people don't. So again, one, just keeping up with healthy stuff, and two, personal development, meaning growing my mind.
Always evolving.
So important. Yes.
I agree. It's amazing how you've taken your life journey and opportunities and created something you're so business minded, and you've capitalized on your experiences and your knowledge throughout all this time. Going off that last question a little bit, how did you see growing up that this would be a business opportunity for you, as some of our students and parents don't really see dance as a professional career path?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't like set it out to be a business. It just kind of happened, which is, I think, really good too. Like I don't believe in like hustle, like super hustle, Yeah. I think there needs to be an element of flow. Obviously, you have to like assess, nothing is going to be very easy. There's definitely going to be challenges, and it's good to overcome those challenges. But sometimes if it's too, like, for example, maybe this is not an experience that kids have, but like, when someone has like a boyfriend or girlfriend and you keep fighting, why stay in the relationship? Yeah. You know what I mean? So if something flows, so it's really good to kind of be with the flow. And that's what I've kind of done. It was, it's funny, people are like, oh man, it's really hard being in the dance industry. It's hard, but you know what? To be honest, it hasn't really been that hard for me. Everything just seems to be quite easy. Not easy, but quite easy. It hasn't been.
It's a flow.
Yeah.
Is a flow factor in it.
I feel like everything for you has all flown. Like you had your Triple Eight Funk company, and then out of that, like, sprouted in different directions, so many different avenues.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of principles that you can apply. So one of the things that I mentioned earlier is like surrounding yourself with good people. Because if you do that, then you're more empowered to like speak up. You're more empowered to become more confident. And back to your question, Britt, about that when parents don't think of it as something that's practical, maybe. I think we need to look at dance in a broader way. Like there's not one aspect that you're gonna get from dance. Like I think people automatically think, oh, if you were taking dance classes, you want to be a performer in Broadway or a backup dancer for Justin Timberlake or something like that. I mean, that is part of the journey, but that's not the full story. Like, I'm super happy being able to have a career in organizing dance events. And there's other things that you can learn from dance. For example, like, discipline, like teamwork, leadership, even like coordination. I mean, some people, you're like, raise your right shoulder, and they're like, you know what I mean? Like they don't know.
Yeah, simple life things.
Simple life things. Resilience, the concept of the show must go on. I mean, that is super important. A lot of people can't handle stress. But I think with dancing, we're taught to like, look, there's a problem. The lights are not functioning. There's costume like
you forget your routine.
Yeah, but like, hey, the show is happening regardless, and let's make it work. That is a great skill to have, and that's one thing that dance has taught me. Even creativity, and again, people think creativity, it's just going to be like an art thing, but creativity can be used in so many ways. Like even now, with this COVID thing, like a lot of studios, like you guys, are doing a podcast wearing Kmart amazing gangsta hood.
Get creative in some way.
That is creative, and that's not necessarily like a performing dancing thing.
Yeah.
But it's making something work.
Yeah.
You're helping kids getting motivated. That is one thing that the dance industry in general has taught us, being creatives. So I would like to just kind of encourage people to look at it in a bigger way. So I've learned a lot of business stuff. And I've kind of seen a lot of business opportunities from it because most people are not in tune with the business side of things. So that's just basically how I've got into the business side of the dance world. I haven't necessarily wanted it to be a business thing. But I have been aware and accepted that there's different skills you can learn from it. And I think people need to look at that in a broader sense.
Beautiful.
Amazing. So Joel, for anyone that doesn't know, he owns and runs and manages Hip Hop International Australia, which is the biggest hip hop competition we have here in Australia. So our hip hop team Almighty, we were entered for March this year.
You told me that.
And so they came and watched last year. They were so excited. We came on a little excursion, and then we said, next year we're going to be on the stage. And so they worked really hard. Unfortunately, due to COVID, it was cancelled, and many of your other events, of course. So how have you been going? Like, what does it feel like to have to postpone all of those things?
Yeah, dude, I canceled 100% of all our events this year. I mean, that's so crazy because at a rate from the last 5 years, I mean, we've been running things for like 10 to 20 years, I think, almost. But just in the last 5 years, it's really accelerated the way we've implemented and created events for the community. And so from, I think, 2015, we had like one event. 2016, we had two. And then it just became 5, and then 12. And then we were going to have about 15 events this year, but it all got canceled. And it was quite really kind of sobering and humbling, like, wow, something like this can destroy completely all your plans, your whole life.
Yeah.
But then the entrepreneurial side of me just kind of kicked in. And just there's one principle that I really like. Again, one of the things that I've learned from my mentor, like, only focus on the things you can control, not the things that you're out of control. So, we've even like tried to do things online, but we just decided this year, just canceled the whole thing. So I think, so right now what we're doing is we're just focusing on making our systems better. So for 2021 or for the future years, we can build faster and better service for people. So for example, like we've always wanted to have on a better way of registration and online systems or websites. And I've tried to really create a website for the last 5 years, but it's never happened. But hey, now, like a couple weeks ago, I just sat down, shut myself off in my little room for 2 days. And in 2 days, I've created 2 websites in 2 days by myself.
Really using the time wisely. I think a lot of businesses are doing the same, revamping their websites and things like that, like the things that they can control.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think people can get through it. You know, it is hard, and I think it's we're not sure when we're gonna come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just focus on the things you can control. And also wanna like point out that because it could be quite dangerous if you're like, oh, that thing I can't control, so I'll just give up. But you know, but it's not again. Be creative about things. Like again, like your studios, a lot of studios right now, they can't do live classes, so they're doing online classes. And I know that's not something that has always been fun, or like it's still different. But you know, making the most of what other resources we have to make things work is one thing that we can do. So that's what we've been doing, and yeah,
amazing. So what would you say to Almighty, our hip hop team, or any of our elite dancers or comp teams who they thrive off comps, they thrive off these things, and they had been working so hard like all the other studios for a big comp season. And I guess you could say that for them not having a comp is very deflating, and sometimes would make a lot of dancers go, oh, well, I don't really need to work that hard. I've got nothing coming around the corner. Like, what would you say to them to keep working as a team and keeping that resilience?
Yeah, it is absolutely tough. And I know that because, you know, I've been, and you guys know how it is like to be a dancer, and those goals are really important. But I think Madonna said this, like 2020 is an equalizer. Meaning like, if you've always wanted to be that great, mm-hmm. guys, think about it. The whole world stopped. Mm-hmm. Even the best person in the world stopped. So the only time you can catch up is this year. You know?
Yeah, that's so true.
To me, that is so motivating. Like, oh, now I can catch up? Let's go. You know? Again,
I love that.
Back to the personal development thing. It is your time to do this. Because you're at home, everyone is at home, they can't do stuff because everyone's stuck. We have the same rules in place. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Like, I've actually listed down a few things that how I can be better and how I can catch up.
Yeah.
And not just in a business way. I have some personal development things that I put on my list that are quite fun stuff. And I think some of you will, when I meet you guys again, I have some party tricks that I'm going to show you. I'm actually learning magic right now. Oh my God, dude, wait for this.
Done a magic trick now. You should have been.
Oh man, yeah, I'm still on the beginners like manual.
Great.
And it's one thing again. I know that there's 4 pillars of a good life. This is one thing that my mentor said. There's health, there's wealth, there's love, and there's happiness. Okay, that's the blueprint if you want to create a good life. Not just. I think a lot of people just focus on the wealth side, meaning their careers. Mm-hmm. But dude, like there's so many other things. Like let's say, for example, that love side. Love is about social wealth and creating, good friends around you. I mean, with my magic tricks, do you think I'm going to make more friends? Yeah. Hell to the yeah. What I'm going to do, man, is going to be funny because when I go back to, like, when we are back to like gatherings, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to walk around pubs and clubs and malls and make friends with, here, I have this.
And you're so good at making friends without magic. So imagine it now. Like,
I'll be like, hey, random person, pick a card. Pick a card.
Everyone loves magic. And if you don't, like, there's something wrong there. Because,
actually,
yeah.
Can you imagine I can double my friends list?
Yes.
Do you know how much powerful I could be with more friends?
Yeah.
I'm actually making friends with like there's political people, like politicians right now, because right now they're in politics and they want to get their message out there. So I'm a social media content creator as well. So I'm actually now helping them with their social media. I'm making friends with politicians. You know what that means? And
You
I'm
can
gonna
make
go
friends
and,
with anyone. I don't know what it is about you. And
then
if you don't like Joel or you can't be friends with him, like it's very unheard of.
Trina, pick a card. Any card. No. So here we go. Watch out for my magic tricks, my man. And then yeah, if you're a friend of mine, you're in a good spot.
I'll be your assistant. Wear like the dress and I come out of the thing, you know.
Don't.
Absolutely.
Don't you dare.
Can't wait. We'll tour and everything.
Yep, there you go. See the entrepreneurial side
Tour.
of Trina.
Oh my goodness, magic tour, don't you
Well, see
two.
guys, so that's what I'm. So back to the question.
Oops.
Understand that there's so many other things that you can do that you realize may not be. You might not have thought about this in the past few years. Like me doing magic. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like look at that. Look at that. It's disappearing.
Just
See? That's magic right there, right? It's becoming the Avengers. Oh damn.
When you host all of your events, you'll be able to pull out magic as well.
Oh my God. See? So yeah, I'm gonna become even richer. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, just try to find things that you can learn. Not just dancing.
And do you think that comes down to motivation, discipline? Like if someone genuinely wants to do something, they will. And I myself have set myself fitness orientated goals and have met those within this period. But then there's someone who would want the same sort of goals, but just won't kind of do anything about it. Like what does that actually come down to? Because that relates back to our dancers. Some of them are more flexible, actually better than they were last year. Some of them we know haven't stretched and things like that. Like, but they kind of want the same thing.
Yeah, super tough because I know some people are more motivated than others naturally. I think it really comes down to the person. I mean, even me, in some of, again, the couple of classes that I've done, the studio owners was like, oh, can you please motivate our kids? But the thing is like, I might be able to motivate you for one day, but tomorrow is a different day.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I can't really motivate you for life. I only give you like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's hard. Again, it's also hard for me to say, to be honest, because I've always kind of just been motivated.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why is, again, back to that same thing. Have somebody with you that's motivated or not naturally positive.
Yeah.
And just connect with them more. Then and be really aware. This is really it can be really dangerous because sometimes you're so used to your friends.
Yeah.
You think that, oh, they're my friends, they're always gonna look after me, and they're good to be around with. But if you listen to them sometimes, they're not the most positive people. Maybe that's why you're not positive, because of those people around you.
Yeah.
Maybe the things you see, if sometimes you're watching things online or you're looking at the news and everything is the bad news, and people are so addicted to emotion. That is a fact. So it may be good or bad or whatever. If it's some kind of emotion, you get addicted to it. And even me, I'm a victim of that sometimes. Like I'm just reading all the news about all this bad stuff about COVID-19. And I'm like, hang on, this is really affecting me.
Yeah.
So I put it down.
So back to like thinking about students, like if they're like, I want to be like this student in my group, but I don't have that motivation, like connecting with that person and following their steps a little bit would make them, I mean, it might not, but it's probably a better chance that they'll go, this person motivates me.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to Katrina and Britt. Watch this podcast twice, 3 times. Replay it.
Wash it out, spit it out.
Wash and rinse, repeat.
Is that how you wash it?
So one thing, Joel, I admire about you is the way you put yourself out there and you jump on opportunities and your ability to make true connections with people, choreographers, event managers, like pretty much any room that you step into, you can connect with someone and then somehow an opportunity arises from that. Well, that's my perception of you anyway. Don't know if it happens like that. But I think I just would love for you to give some tips to our dancers that go to workshops and go to things. How do they put themselves out there and, sort of meet different people around that, not just in their circle, and go a bit further with communication and things like that?
Yeah, honestly, networking is a game changer. There are two things that I want to mention here. The first one is kind of simple and almost silly. Like, don't like just around not being shy. Shyness can really cripple you um, because shyness has the same energy as being snobbish. If you're shy, you're enclosed, right? And imagine, I mean, you're shy, you're just there being like, good old kid being shy, but to other people, you also might look snobbish. Think about that, you know? And the thing is, I know this because I grew up shy and I still really think I'm shy, even if people don't think I'm shy. But deep inside, I'm really kind of shy and I kind of hesitate a lot. And I know if I wasn't like this, I could grow even more. But, and the way I think you get out of that shyness is to slowly build your confidence. Like, don't expect it to be like, you're shy today, tomorrow you're not going to be shy. It's not really going to happen. So you build it slowly by just doing one little thing. So for example, you're in class, you're shy. You're like, okay, I have something to say. Oh man, maybe not. Maybe, I should ask Katrina. Or maybe like I'll sound stupid, or I might sound silly if I ask this question. Just do that little thing and then work from that. So one, and hang on, that wasn't that bad. And then the next day, maybe do two things, because I think people have this idea in their head that people are going to destroy them and kill them and be mean to them. But really, most of the time, that's not the case. There will always be someone that's going to be mean to you. And there are like bad people out there. But 9 out of 10 people are not like that. So take the chance. If one person has been mean to you today, meaning the next 9 people won't be mean to you.
That's exactly right.
It's just a matter of, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And that's what salespeople do. Like, if they want to sell something, they know not 10 out of 10 will buy from them.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I think Michael Jordan said this, one of the greatest players of the NBA. He said, the reason why I'm great is because I missed 9,000 shots. Like, people don't remember the 9,000 missed shots.
Mm-hmm.
They only remember the ones that he got in, like the buzzer beaters and the shots that made them a champion. People are not really going to remember you from your losses. They're going to remember you for your wins.
Yeah. So I think going on that too, like if a student wants something from their teachers or perhaps wants to go into a bit of an opportunity somewhere else within the studio, come to us and speak to us, because otherwise we're never going to know. And the amount of times I've spoken to you back in Melbourne and been like, I want to do this. Can I help with this? I want to know how to do this. And yeah, you probably could have said no, but you didn't. And so I wouldn't have done half the things I did if I didn't put myself out there and think, Joel might think I'm completely crazy for even asking this. I have no idea how to do this, but I want to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like what you said, Katrina, sometimes you just need to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So simple. If you're scared, guys, again, just do simple steps. Like if I'm feeling down, I would actually just go to the market and ask about the price. How much are these bananas? I mean, super simple stuff can go a long way if you build it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's one thing. Second one is I want to encourage people to read this book. It's from Dale Carnegie. It's How to Win and Influence Friends.
Awesome.
Again, super important book. If you don't like reading, you can go watch it on YouTube, like an audio book for free. It's this thing, guys. There's so many resources out there that are free, but people don't read it.
Yeah.
There's a saying that says that your network is your net worth. And some people, might think, it's unfair that the dance community only hires people who they know and not really the skill. Well, I would not really agree to that, because if you look at it as being part of the game, then it changes your perception of it. For example, a good example, Justin Bieber's choreographer a few years ago did a big, massive audition call for people to be their backup dancers.
Yep.
Now, what had happened eventually, the choreographer picked his friends, right? and people were complaining, oh my God, you just picked your friends over. Okay, they are about to go on a tour, a world tour. If I was the choreographer, obviously, I'm not gonna pick like crap dancers.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pick good dancers. But if you're a good dancer and another good dancer that's my friend, of course I'm gonna pick my friend. You know why? Because on tour, I know their work ethic. I can trust them already. Why would I pick someone that's a good dancer that I don't know their work ethic?
Yeah.
That might crumble. So,
But it's a natural thing that humans do anyway. Like, it's not necessarily unfair. It's a circumstantial thing. Like, the podcast today, I know you. I know what kind of person you are. I know that you add value to pretty much anything. So, of course, I'm going to ask you rather than go outsource someone else who I don't know what they were going to be like.
Yeah. So if the answer is being a good dancer and having a lot of friends, then be a good dancer and have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Look at the glass half full, not half empty. Okay. And yeah, I mean, the more people you know, there's just the more options you have. Another mentor of mine said that everything that you want in life is in the hands of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way of getting what you want is to get it from someone else. If you want money, other people may have that money. So my mentor, they have houses that they rent, you know, so people are putting money in to rent the house. He gets the money. Mm-hmm. If you want more health, some people have, you know, that knowledge, you know, get it from them. Yeah. Honestly, everything that you want in life is with someone else. So it's really about reaching out and gaining that from other people or sharing that with other people.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. We will for sure make sure that we put your Instagram, Facebook page, YouTube and everything. I think everyone should follow Joel and just see, like, you do so many different things, but for our dancers, but even for anyone that's, you know, inspired by just like a health and well-being sort of lifestyle and the things or the outlooks on life that Joel has. You're very philosophical. Is that the word?
Yep. You can call it anything you want, Katrina.
I am the queen. Yes.
Yeah, I think I think also just understanding why you do things is super important. Like, and don't limit yourself on just like one or two things. My mission in life is to empower people to be happy and healthy, not just, you know, dancing. So everything that I do is about making people happy and making people healthy or inspiring them to do so. So that's why it may seem like a lot, but really I'm only really doing one thing, empowering people to be happy and healthy. So if people can really reflect, again, I'm really hoping people can do this during the lockdown period, like reflecting on why they exist in this life. It is a very hard and deep conversation you're going to have with yourself. But once you know why you exist, it honestly makes it so much easier for you to like go through life because you know what to say yes to and what to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, honestly, everybody that's listening to this podcast would really like to just give a shout out to Britt and Katrina for being creative and being entertaining and keeping the love and the energy alive in the community in Wang. You know what I mean? Like, these are good people, man. Like, if they weren't good people, they would just like, yeah, let's just hang out and not do anything. But they actually spent time. Do you know how hard it is? I have a podcast too. And it is so difficult to do. It's more than what you just see happen because you have to plan things. You have to schedule things. You have to organize the speakers. You have to edit. Oh my God, Britt, I can feel your pain. Even if it's simple editing, it's still editing, you know? And I'm an editor myself, so I know how hard it is. So yeah, just want to give a big shout out to you guys for doing this for the community.
Thank you.
Positive and energetic and funny and all that stuff, you know? So that's all we need in the world, you know what I mean?
Thanks, Joel.
Avenger.
Well, with that positive finish and that positive note, shall we leave it there?
Yes.
I think the dancers and families of Wangaratta and Pulsate will gain a lot from your talk today.
Agreed.
Awesome. Thanks, Joel.
Let's go, team.
Thanks so much, Joel, for joining us. We'll see you very soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, that brings us to the end of episode 4 of the Pulsate podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you can get a notification for next week's episode, where we will have the very talented dancer and choreographer Sam Dominic from Queensland joining us. Very exciting. And he will be talking about his success and shedding some light on his journey being a male dancer, as well as we will have our very own Lockie and Xavier, who are 2 of our male dancers at our studio Pulsate, joining us as well.
I'm so excited to hear from the boys and see what they have to say. We'll see you next week on episode 5 of the Pulsate podcast, where we'll be bored together. Bye.